goal already. You know, I've illustrated Ben's reluctancy to head the ball. They've switched it here because Mari plays left side centre back and Ben White plays right side centre back. They've switched it over here because Mari's a better header of the ball. And then Lino as well has been pinned here. So two things. I used to get the midfield player coming back in front. They've got it. Well played. Mari's on the side, which is fine. But you don't let the centre forward bully your goalkeeper. One, the goalkeeper just throws him away, and then in this situation, you know, if you've got the centre forward out the game, the goalkeeper just comes and catches it. You know, that doesn't happen. He just comes and you give him space to come and get the ball. And we won't have long throws today, set plays to deal with, but we need to tighten up if we go away from home with certain clubs. You can't give goals away like that defensively. Keep clean sheets. We've got to start being resilient. I could have thrown up, Steve, 20 situations there, but I've just picked out a couple there.
It really is fascinating. And listen, I've sat over the years listening to Lee Dixon tell me story after story about you barking out instructions, etc., etc. You were one of the best at it. But looking at that back four, looking at what Arsenal have available, who's going to talk? Who's going to communicate? How are they going to eradicate those errors, Tony?
Well, they've got to play together regularly. I've always said about rotation, central defenders don't work for me. Rob Holding's coming of age for me. Arguably, he had his best season last year. 26, average age of a central defender in the Premier League is 27. So, you know, he's getting a bit more experience. He can fight. You know, Tony ran all over Ben White, to be honest with Brentford's Tony. He absolutely destroyed. And they've got Lukaku today. You know, what did Tony do to us? What is Lukaku going to do to us? So we're going to have people that are resilient and strong, but playing together. You know, Gabriel, once again, I could go on all day, but he reacts instead of anticipating. So he's got the physical stuff, but he has not played in a four and he doesn't know how to anticipate. And you've got a problem with the right back now, where Hector Bellerin used to go forward all the time. You've got Callum Chambers because he's a better defender than Hector. You've got issues there. Left back's out of the game, like I illustrated. You know, he's playing like a left winger. You know, you've got to get some balance. There's got to be some huge work. And then we've got the goalkeeper instead of the start of the show. You know, Martinez going out the door. You need two number ones for me. You know, there's a whole big issue there with getting the lad in from Sheffield United. So, a lot of problems there, Steve. And we spent how much? 102
million. Tony mentions Romelu Lukaku. If you were in the Chelsea team hotel now watching those clips as a striker, how would you feel?
That's the problem that Arsenal have got, because everybody can see that they're soft at the back. And now, all of a sudden, if you've got a couple of players, you know, you're 50-50 who to play up front, well, then you'll go for the physical presence. You'll think, do you know what? We can beat these up. We can bully them off the pitch. Now, in Chelsea today, you've got a player that's got attributes coming out of everywhere you look. He's got strength, he's got pace, he can finish. You know, he's just got, you know, he's one of the best in the game. And he will have been rubbing his hands together watching them against Brentford. They would have been showing the tapes. So I would have thought that Chelsea are going to play a physical game. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go and do that against a team that concede goals far too easily?
And there are reports, incidentally, as well, that Ben White will miss the game today through illness, but we'll try and confirm those a little bit later on. But as Michael says, Romelu Lukaku will be looking forward to his return to Chelsea and the club record signing because he has a point to prove.
I don't think many people realise how much of a Chelsea fan you are. So surely it must have hurt like hell when it didn't quite happen for you here.
Yeah, it did. It was a source of motivation at the time, but always asking myself questions like, what went wrong? And I was living with that for many, many years. That's why sometimes I could come over a bit aggressive, you know what I mean? In interviews, or very defensive. And I think, you know, like at one point I just decided, you know, for me it's better to go somewhere else and just, you know, see everything from a different point of view. And I think when I left to Italy, I think it was the best thing I could have done at the time.
You're almost zen-like in that you seem to have rid yourself of all that self-doubt and all those questions.
Yeah, it was just questions, you know, self-doubt. I knew I had the abilities, but why not? It was always like, just not, you know? When I think about my moments with Everton, missed penalties or whatever, or United games or whatever, And then I was like, maybe is it because I put maybe too much, you know? And, you know, when I went to Italy, this is where, you know, obviously under the guidance of Antonio Conte, where I learned what it took really to go and just break that barrier.
What specifically would you say is better about you as a player now?
And technically, obviously, I improved because before I was back to goal was not really my thing. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. Because I'm more of a guy that likes to run in behind and, you know, attack spaces and, you know, take players on. But as soon as I started, like, you know, getting better at my back to goal play, for me, it was better because I could score more goals, but I could create also more for my teammates. So my assists went up. So I became more complete of a player.
It's fabulous to have you back in the Premier League. It just looks to me as though you are totally at peace with yourself, brimming with confidence, and you've arrived at your club, right place, right time. Is that how you feel?
Yeah. Because I think, you know, the move could have happened a few years ago. Looking back at that time, I don't know if it would have had the same impact like I have now. I'm much more mature, much more aware of the stuff that's happening on the football pitch. You know, I'm a father outside as well now, so much more responsibilities and, you know, leadership skills. You know, now I achieved that. Now it's only, you know, I have to let my work on the pitch do the talking.
What would it mean to you as a person, as a footballer, and also as a Chelsea fan, to become a Chelsea icon?
It means the world to me. It means the world to me. Then I can say, like, you know what, like, I set up what I wanted to do as a child. And, you know, now I'm here. At the end of the day, yes, you want to score the goals and stuff like that, but winning matters. And that was the mindset that, you know, I had to have to win. Because before it was always like scoring goals. But, you know, when you don't win, the respect is not the same.
He's back. It was fascinating. We'll have a close look at his numbers in a moment. But 80 goals for club and country in the last 2 seasons. Only Lewandowski and Ronaldo have more. Interesting to hear him say there about being more mature. He's got more self-belief. Back to goal as well. I mean, how different is this Romelu Lukaku to the one we saw very early on at Chelsea?
Oh, yeah, he's much more polished now, much better player. I was fascinated listening to that interview, I must admit. Quite naturally, someone of his size and presence, you would have thought back to goal would have been the first thing you'd be good at.